The first step that we need to take in order to build our name tag is to create our bounding box. Our bounding box is just a guide in order to help us not go outside of the area that we want to create for our name tag. We don't want it to be too big and we don't want it to be too small. So let's start by creating our bounding box. We're going to create a new rectangle sketch. You can get yours from here and you can move it up by pressing on the middle menu over here, but I'm going to press it from up here. I'm going to draw my sketch on the base layer down here. So I'm going to use to this little corner of these three planes. If you're coming over here, you might accidentally press that one. So I'm going to come on press this one and I'm going to draw my sketch here. Because it is going to be a guide only, I'm going to use the construction icon over here, making sure that's highlighted, and I'm going to draw out my rectangle. My rectangle is now drawn. You'll see it's now a dotted line. I'm going to press escape to make sure I've got everything deselected. I'm going to press D for dimension, and then I'm going to click on this line here. I'm going to let go, and then I'm going to pull the mouse up so that it moves the dimension up about that high. I'm now going to type in the dimension of 60 because our name tag can be no longer than 60 millimeters long. I'm now going to click down on this one here and do the same thing. Click out here as well, and then I'm going to type in 30 because our name tag can be no higher than 30 mils. I'm now going to make sure that this is dead in the center of my screen, and the easy way to do that is to put a measurement from this point here in the middle of the screen out to this line over here, and half of 60 is 30, so we're going to press enter, and we'll do the same for this particular one here. We're going to click on this line, point here, and this line over here, and we're going to type in 15, which is half of 30. Our bounding box is now in the middle, and you'll notice that it's gone all black, which means it is fully stuck. It's fully constrained, and I'm very happy with that. So that's how we create our bounding box. The final step we're going to do is hit stop sketch, and you'll see it's now there. That's the size that our name tag is going to be. You can zoom in a bit, so I'm just going to zoom in with my mouse pad there. And I should be able to now draw my name tag within that box. It's now time to draw the outline of our name tag. I'm just basically going to use a rectangle that fills the whole area up, which is the basic and most easy option for you. So basically I'm going to show you how. I'm going to press on create sketch. I'm going to click on this surface again. And if it gives you dimensions at this point, you've done it wrong. You need to try again. There should be two sketches if you drop down this little thing here. So open it up. There should be two sketches in here now. This one here is the pinned one, is your outside sketch, your bounding box, and this sketch here is the one we're working in right now. So I'm going to use my rectangle tool, and I'm basically just going to draw a rectangle which perfectly locks to my bounding box. Then I can hit stop sketch, and I can now make my actual name tag base, and I'm going to hit modify, and I'm going to pull up 3 millimeters and press OK. So that's basically it. The name tag, or the basis of your name tag, if you're going to take up the full amount of space, is just there. You may want to do a slightly different type of name tag, in which case I've got one here that I've done, and I've drawn that up. It doesn't go outside my bounding box. It does touch the edge of my bounding box at certain points, but it does not go outside of the bounding box. I'm going to hit stop sketch and look at that from the home position. I'm going to say the same thing. I'm going to modify it and press up with 3. If you're wondering how I drew that, I drew it with the line tool. So that could be my name tag as well. It's a bit of a bizarre shape, but you can draw any shape you want as long as it fits inside your bounding box. I'm basically going to work with this one for the rest of the tutorials. It's now time to put the text on, and your text will be your name. You can use your whole name, or you can use part of your name. You can use your nickname, but it has to represent who you are in text. So basically, I'm going to start with a sketch, and I'm going to use the text tool. Now you need to be careful that you don't accidentally click on the wrong side. For example, if you click on this one here, it's going to actually try and put the text on that surface there. We need to make sure we click on this side. Sometimes students accidentally do this and click on the underside. Make sure you press the home button first and then click on here to write the text. I'm going to move over. You can move over with the pan tool, but I don't need to. I've got my 2-finger control on my touchpad. And I'm going to click somewhere over here and start writing my text. My name is Mr. Clark. If your first name is Sam, you can write Sam. If your first name is Methuselah, then you might want to write something else. Okay, so basically we're going to now rotate that round. You can rotate it round with the rotate tool. You don't even have to have it straight. I'm going to be a bit, adventurous and go for a slightly angled one. And I can move it around with this particular handle here. You can change the size by changing the height. And the height of this text might be like 16. And you'll realize that 16 is going to be too big. It might fit if I just rotate it like that. It's probably still a bit too big. Let's just zoom out just a little bit and see that I've got that. Yeah, it's just going to be too close to the edge. So I'm going to make it maybe 15.5. You can use half or decimal places, and that's going to make it nice and that size. If I change the font, I need to be careful of the fonts that I use. Thin fonts will mean that your wall size, as we discussed in an earlier video, gets too thin and it won't work. And some fonts are a bit complicated to work, so they won't work when you try and create them in 3D. A really good font to do for this particular type of thing is Impact, because Impact is a nice, thick, solid font. And there it is there. And it actually takes up less space, so that's a good one to do. But if you like other fonts, you can try them. There is a workaround if your font throws up an error, which I can show you some other time. I'm going to click on OK now, and I'm going to hit Stop Sketch. So now I'm going to press the Home button so that I can see my text and make sure that it's actually on the top and not stuck to the bottom. If you've made a mistake and you put it on the wrong surface, you need to go back and do it again. I'm now going to hit the Modify button. Just click that Modify button, or you can click there, press Pull. And I'm going to modify the text, not this box here, but the text. So I'm going to highlight over the text and move that. Once I press on that thing that I'm going to highlight, it's going to give me an arrow somewhere, which I can't see at the moment because it's all the way up there for some reason. And I'm going to pull it up. Now if I pull it up too far, it's going to be too big. I'm going to choose 2 millimeters. 2 millimeters is the maximum you can go. The slowest or furthest down you can go is -2 millimeters. So if you want to go in, and I think I'm going to go in for this one, I like going in sometimes, and sometimes the extruded text is better. So the in text is what I'm going to do, the indented text. I'm going to click on OK. Once I click on OK, it's going to take a bit of time, and it's going to put that text there. So if I want to change that, remember I can right click down here, I can go edit feature, and if I edit the feature, I can change that to 2. Let's see what that's going to look like. Doesn't seem to want that for a second. Don't know why. No, it won't let me do that. I can always undo and try and pull that up 2 millimeters. But there we go. There's my text for my name tag. And the next thing I need to do is the through hole. Now there's no set location for where you need to put your through hole. My center circle diameter tool is here, but you can get yours from here, and then clicking there, or pressing the C button. Once again, we need to draw this on top of our surface, so let's click over here. It seems logical to me that I want mine somewhere up in this corner, so I'm just going to quickly draw out a hole size, and the hole is going to be 4 millimeters in diameter. 4mm seems to be a good size. You can go a bit bigger if you want, but you need to be aware that this will affect what I say next. I'm going to press enter and enter again. That's now got the hole size. If I'm too close to the edge of my name tag, there is a danger that it won't print or it will be too weak. So I need to set some boundaries. So I'm going to press the dimension tool and I'm going to dimension it from this side wall here to this point here, and I'm going to pull out here. And because it's 4, there's 2mm between here and the edge, and I want at least 2mm between here and there. Better if I have 3mm, so I'm going to make it in 5. And I'm going to do the same here, 5mm in. You don't want it in too far, but you don't want it too close to the edge either. And now that's turned black, and that's ready to go. All I need to do now is go stop sketch, press in the home view, press the modify button, click on that part there, and just pull that right down. Or type in -15 or -3. Anything over -3 will get you right through. And press enter. And that is your basic name tag. That will get you a satisfactory result, and that will work quite well. Either indented or outdented, up to you. Look at some design possibilities that we can use in order to make our name tag a little bit more refined in appearance. Straight off, I've used the fillet tool. I'm not going to tell you how to use the fillet tool, just that I did use the fillet tool. You need to figure these things out for yourself. I put the fillet tool out around there just to give it a nicer, softer edge. Another idea is that you could use a border like this one here in order to add some extra dimensioning to your name tag and actually set it up as being something more focused as a name tag and not just a flat-edged thing. Finally, I've added some extra features like these lines here that don't actually go over my text, but actually just add an extra pattern there. And you can see as you look around that sort of looks quite good. It's got the hole still. I may have been able to just bring it in closer to there. Maybe I should have done that, but it looks pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with that as a sort of a thing. In order to get better results than that, you have to consider design possibilities as outlined. Your name tag has to have some extra capability, like for example being a comb, being a bottle opener, being a screwdriver or a tool of some sort. That sort of extra feature, even a ruler. So basically you can do what you want in order to improve the appearance and the quality of your name tag.